Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of really interesting bodybuilding updates. The first thing we got is an update after Atlanta, and Jo Palacios basically announcing that he's done for the season.
I'm not competing in Texas, so we're calling the season after this show, which was my decision, but I didn't plan on doing all three for sure anyways. But what's more important to me now, spending time with my family, making the improvements that I wanted on my physique.
Now, his reasoning behind this is not exactly very clear. He didn't really explain to the audience why he's pausing this season. He says that his plan was never to do 3 shows. I think his plan was originally to do Tampa Pro and Texas, but after doing both Tampa and Atlanta, he decided to pull out. He does mention something about wanting to spend time with his family. Again, he didn't really specify exactly what his thought process was for this, but is he really obligated to explain his decisions to the fans? No, not really. He doesn't have to. I mean, the way things are done in bodybuilding world, on social media, and how everybody's connected with their audience, you kind of are obligated to give some explanation to the decisions you're making, but realistically, you don't have to do that. So he didn't really go too deep into the specifics, but I think it's pretty clear here why he did this. If he believed that he was gonna easily win the Texas Pro and then go to the Mr. Olympia and contend for a top 10 spot, which was his goal originally, then I'm pretty sure he would do it. I'm pretty sure he would sacrifice another week of not spending too much time and energy and focus on or with his family. And he probably realized that it would be just pointless at this point. Because at Texas Pro, he'll face Regan Grimes. Regan Grimes, who was considerably off at Atlanta and still managed to beat Jo Palacios, being off like that. And Joe, even though he wasn't exactly super on, I mean, he wasn't terribly off. Yeah, sure, he needs to be drier and leaner and harder, but it's not like he was fat or super soft. Like, his glutes are peeled. There were lines on his glutes, on his back, everywhere. So he was in solid condition. I mean, he can improve, but probably not within 1 week, right? So he tried from Tampa to Atlanta. Not much changed. And now in another week, why would he be able to make any big changes in the next, 3-4 days? That's definitely not plenty of time. I mean, he probably carb loaded like a maniac for that show, for Atlanta, and then also he probably ate a lot of junk food after the show, so he has a couple of days to deplete of all that junk and all that food, and then to basically diet down for a couple of days and then fill up again. So yeah, like, he would probably get a little bit harder and leaner, and also depending on the peak week what he was doing, maybe he could show up a little bit drier and harder. But guys, it's not just the conditioning, it's also the muscularity. I know how crazy that sounds. This guy's probably one of the biggest guys in the IFBB right now, rivaling Nick Walker when it comes to size. But when I say muscularity, I'm not talking about the overall muscularity. I'm just talking about strictly legs or quads. So from the front, his quads are still really, really small for his upper body, just the way Charles Griffen said. He's absolutely correct with this one. It's absolutely true. You can see it very clearly right here. Like, from the side, from the back, in real life, I'm sure Joe's legs are freaking insane. I'm sure they're massive, they're huge. But his upper body is just so enormous. His chest grew so much. His arms as well. His back is insane. He's really wide in the shoulders. He has a really good pop in the delts. And when you have that, when you have a massive upper body like that, especially when you are shoulder dominant, you need to have a lot of size in those legs, man, to have good proportions. So I'm sure he realized, again, even if he sharpens up a little bit, he probably won't be good enough to beat Regan Grimes, whose structure is amazing, who is probably the same size, and who is probably going to show up better at Texas. But even if you assume that Joe wins Texas and beats Regan, how well can he do at the Olympia? There is no chance of him cracking the top 10. Jo Palacios is not a top 10 bodybuilder, not this year. However, with a good long off season, another off season, where he would train his legs. In my opinion, he should probably train his legs at least 2 times a week. At least 2 times a week, and upper body, like maybe once or twice for a time period. Just let the legs catch up with the upper body. If he just grows his legs to be pretty big, if he grows them, let's say he adds another couple of inches to his quads and he just maintains his upper body, which I'm sure it's not very difficult. You know, he probably doesn't have to train like 4 times a week his upper body to maintain it. If he just maintains his upper body, he doesn't need to grow any more muscle in the upper body, really. But he needs to grow his legs. If he does that, then that's going to be a really dangerous package. Now, of course, his structure is still not exactly, ideal. He's going to have a wider waist. He does have some muscles are not exactly shaped the best way, but with bigger legs and just with better balance and also with better conditioning and better peak, I'm sure he can do really well next year, win one of the shows. Again, this is not going to be one of those stories where a guy shows up out of nowhere, takes a couple of second spots, and the next year wins a couple of shows. No, that's not Joe's story. He took another couple of second and third spots, actually third spots this year, 2 third spots, and maybe next year he might actually climb up to get to actually finally win a pro show. So again, a good offseason is very much needed here. I think this is actually a good decision. Yeah, I would love to see him at Texas as well, but for him, this decision absolutely does make sense. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comments. All right, the next thing we got is an update from Charles Griffen. And in this one, he sort of addressed what happened at Atlanta, and he basically is talking about the judges' feedback, and he says, the judges' feedback, you look fantastic, you just got out-muscled. And he says, yeah, okay, put a bigger chip on my shoulder, stay tuned, off-season activated, watch. So, yeah, he's going to go into his off-season now, and he's going to try and get as big as possible. Is this going to work out? Is this going to be a good thing for Charles? Is he going to actually make some leaps next year in terms of placings? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have exactly a massive structure to be able to put on a ton of size on. Also, he's like 45 right now, so he's almost in his mid-40s, really. So this is not exactly the best time to putting on a whole bunch of size on his body. And, he can't change his structure. He can't make that waist any smaller. He can't heal that pec that is torn completely. His back is atrophying, and it's going to get only worse. With age, that happens. His quads are actually holding up nicely for a guy that is 45 years old, so that's a good thing. But, yeah, I mean, if he grows another, let's say, 10, 15 pounds, he's going to be better, I'm sure. Yeah, the size was the issue, but also the structure is not exactly ideal. So with more muscle, who knows what will he look like? If his waist grows a little bit more, it's going to hurt his shape overall. So maybe more size won't be a good thing. But the judges are saying what they're seeing. And they don't care if you can or cannot do what they want you to do. Like, they just want to see you bigger with the same proportions. But is that possible? Is that achievable? They don't care. That's not their job. That's his job and the job of his coach. And in my opinion, it probably can backfire. I don't know if it's going to work out, but what is there to lose? He's going to go from 4th place to 8th place. Whatever. I would try it, and maybe he actually is going to win the next show. If that's a possibility, then he should definitely try it and just try and get as big as possible. But he needs to worry about his health, so not exactly the best age to be pushing for so much size to be competitive against the top open guys. But yeah, I guess that's the plan for Charles. Whatever you guys think, tell me down below. All right, the next thing we got is something really, really interesting. So we got a couple of photos from Derek Lunsford in which he's actually showing us his most questionable body part, and that's his arms. So you guys know that everybody believes basically that Derek's arms are all SEO or PMMA or silicone or synthol, whatever. I don't know exactly what they're made of, but they definitely do look really suspicious. And in this post he made, he actually posted a whole bunch of photos basically zooming on his arms, showing us his arms. And from what I'm seeing, they absolutely do look like they're not natural. I mean, natural in terms of, I don't think this is real muscle. Here you can see him flexing that bicep from the side, and what the hell is that bruising and that redness on both of his biceps? You might say it's from a massage, but maybe it's just swelling from an injection of some site enhancement oil or water or what the hell knows what. If you look at his frontal bicep here, I mean, actually single bicep, you can see that this just doesn't look right. You don't see any fibers here. It just looks like it's been stuffed with who knows what. So yeah, this is looking very, very suspicious. And I don't know what's the point of showing it like this, zooming in on it, because if you actually pay attention, you can see, again, it's very clear that it doesn't really look like real muscle. So we basically all know it at this point. And what is interesting in this video is that Chris Aceto is kind of making fun of Derek Lunsford, his own coach. I mean, he was making a joke, but I don't know if Derek would take this lightly. Check it out.
It's like when Ronnie's mother came up on stage when he won the Olympia and she hit the double bicep pose. All she does is lift dishes, She had 20-inch arms.
Yeah, her arms are better than Derek's, I think.
They certainly have better peaks than Derek.
So basically what Chris Aceto is saying is that Ronnie Coleman's mom had better arms, better biceps than Derek Lunsford, meaning that Derek's arms are just really that bad. I mean, are they bad? I wouldn't say they're small. I mean, he doesn't have any peaks, but they're just bad because they don't have any details, right? Like they look like he's basically deep into his off season, even when he's in shape. But right now, he's getting close to being in shape because he said in this interview with Dave Palumbo that he is currently 250 pounds. And actually, there is a video of him actually being measured at exactly 250 pounds at 7 weeks out of the Mr. Olympia. And he says in an interview with Dave that his weight last year on stage was around 240, which is probably like 235. I'm sure he added those 5 pounds.
I mean, in the gym, you look, what do you weigh?
What do I weigh? What did I weigh this morning? I don't know, like close to 250.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Now, what did you weigh on stage last year at the Olympia?
242.
Okay, so
242. So
you tend to grow into shows, don't you?
yeah, I think this year, even if I came.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of what I expected. I don't think I thought he was any heavier than that. I don't think Phil Heath was much heavier neither. I think he was maybe 245, and Derek is about 5-10 pounds lighter. So yeah, I mean you have guys who are like Samson Dauda, over 300 pounds, and you have Mr. Olympias who are 235, 240, like Derek, winning the whole thing. You guys can tell me, what do you think about this down below in the comment section. Oh, and finally, we got a new update from Sergey Danilov, and it seems like he's going to be updating us at this spot throughout this entire prep. So he says here that he's 138 kilos, which is 306 pounds currently, 47 days out of the Mr. Olympia, and this is what he looks like. The big question, of course, is where will he place? Where will Sergey Danilov land at a Mr. Olympia? And can he be a top 10 competitor? I mean, he's going to have to go through a whole bunch of really good guys. You got to mention guys like Bakros Taban, if he gets the visa. Then also, of course, James Hollinshead, then Regan Grimes. Then, I mean, a whole bunch of guys like, I don't know, Krijo is a top 6, top 7 guy, in my opinion, right now. I mean, top 10 these days is really, really stacked. So you have Samson Dauda, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, Hadi Chopin, Andrew Jack, Martin Fitzwater rounding up the top 6. And then I would say probably Krijo, Tony Burton, Brandon Curry, William Bonek, and then also you have James Hollinshead, Regan Grimes probably. So that's already a pretty deep lineup, and I probably forgot a couple of important guys. So for Sergey to beat all of these guys and to crack the top 10, I don't know, man. It's going to be difficult. But if you look at the physique, once again, it's good. The weight taper is there. I mean, his shape is solid. He doesn't have exactly the best details, but this is still very early in prep. He's going to get drier and harder for sure. We'll see how the progression will actually go on from this point. It seems like he's going to be updating us from this spot, this entire prep. Again, he's good. He's massive. He has good shape, good completeness overall. But top 10 of the Mr. Olympia, I think that's still probably a little bit too optimistic, but not impossible. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comments. That is going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. For coaching services, guys, DM me on even bodybuilding _ on Instagram. See you soon, guys. All the best and bye-bye.